Hi everyone, we are group 6 and our company that we have chose to focus on is Amazon. The product that we have chose to focus on is Amazon Web Services. Amazon was founded by Jeff Bezos in 1995 in Seattle, Washington in his own garage. Before becoming the Earth's largest online retailer, Amazon started as an online bookstore where consumers could buy virtually any book they can imagine from the comfort of their own home. Like mentioned before, we have chose to focus on Amazon Web Services. Amazon Web Services is a cloud computing network for businesses to use. It has grown to compete with some of the largest technology providers and continues to grow today. In the BCG matrix, Amazon Web Services sits with the stars. Amazon Web Services currently holds the largest market share of all cloud computing networks, with Microsoft being the runner-up at only 20% of the sales that Amazon makes. This makes Microsoft Amazon's biggest competitor currently. There's also plenty of room for Amazon Web Services to continue to grow, with businesses continuing to incorporate cloud computing into their networks. So this is Amazon's SWOT analysis for the company as a whole and not just their web services. So some strengths that Amazon has is the largest online retailer, their Amazon Kindle that they've created, and product expansion. Some weaknesses is they have some patent infringement issues. There's recurrent outages of Amazon's web hosting and recurrent outages of their cloud computing servers. Some opportunities is internal expansion of the Amazon.com brand, expansion into automation, and expansion into grocery stores. Some threats that Amazon currently sees is increased regulations with increased growth, collection of sales tax, and there might be a focus on growth, which could make breaking antitrust laws tempting.
Hi, I'm Jane, and I'm going to be going over Amazon Web Services market segmentation and the competitive landscape for cloud services. For market segmentation, the cloud services market is AWS's key target. This includes cloud services for enterprises, financial firms, and governmental institutions. AWS is currently in the growth phase of the product lifecycle. Originally launched in 2002, Amazon Web Services was relaunched in 2006, and then in 2010, Amazon.com was moved under the AWS umbrella. It was in 2012 that AWS revenues were first reported separately in financial statements, which ended up being $1.5 billion in revenue. Fast forward to 2017, AWS reported roughly $18 billion in revenue, which highlights their impressive growth over the past 5 years. Since AWS is currently in the growth phase of the product lifecycle, they are now moving away from the early adopter phase and entering into the early majority phase of the consumer adoption cycle. Their early adopter consumer segment tends to be younger, more educated, and has a larger social influence. On the other hand, the early majority consumer segment tends to be more average than the early adopter and has a smaller social influence. Moving on, we look at the competitive landscape for cloud services. AWS is currently number 1 in market share at 47.1%. Looking at the other competitors, we see Microsoft Azure with a 10% market share. Next is IBM Cloud with a 3.95% market share, and Google Cloud with a 2.77% market share. There are many different cloud services, and these are just the top competitors. Since AWS is highest in market share, these are the primary companies that they need to look out for most.
AWS product brand positioning. AWS is considered to be one of the big 4 cloud providers, along with Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, and IBM Cloud. Together, these companies own over 50% of the market share in cloud services, and they're all still rapidly growing, with major competition coming from the well-established Microsoft Azure. However, in 2017, we also saw rapid growth coming from the up-and-coming IBM Cloud. AWS has progressed forward despite a few declines in the market at the beginning of 2018. The decline in sales is the result of some strong competition coming from IBM, who's been showing rapid growth in their cloud services. IBM is reaching for that top position and finished 2017 with the highest growth revenue, taking that top spot in cloud computing. Nonetheless, AWS has continued to dominate the cloud wars, and they're expected to finish 2018 back on top in that number 1 position.
Hi, I'm Anthony, and I'm going to talk to you briefly about Amazon Web Services pricing and channel strategy. Amazon Web Services pricing is an everyday low price structure broken into three main tiers: on-demand, reserved, and dedicated. The on-demand pricing structure allows customers to pay for only the parts that they need exactly when they need them. So if a customer's demand increases one moment, they pay for additional services, and if it decreases the next, they're stopped the charges. For reserve services, a customer will choose exactly how much service they want, and in return, Amazon provides them with a steep discount. Dedicated means that only the customer's software is run on the hardware reserved by Amazon. Now, this can also lead to a discount in pricing. In comparison, Microsoft Cloud pricing is nearly identical. They offer a pay-as-you-go program, which is minute-by-minute pricing for their services. And both services also offer a free trial to attract new customers. Amazon's channel strategy is broken into two parts. They have a direct services, which go from Amazon Web through to enterprise IT, digital marketers, big data, and small developers. So both Amazon's largest and smallest customers will buy directly from Amazon Web Services. In addition, Amazon has Amazon Partners, which helps Amazon to market to consumers which may have more difficulty in rolling out this product, such as governmental organizations, finance, banks, healthcare, and life sciences.
Amazon's IMC mix. Amazon has become a household name, and the cohesion in their IMC strategy allows AWS to draw customers from Amazon's faithful consumer base using pull tactics. One of the most noted elements seen in the AWS IMC mix is their consistent message and design. This consistency in message and design is seen across the board with all of Amazon's products. They achieve this by using recognizable design tactics, color schemes, and visual elements, as seen in the image below. Amazon is also using an element of reinforcement with their AWS service. They do this by making sure that all of the IMC elements are cohesive enough to be successful. Amazon also sets themselves apart by claiming that their strategy is focused on a customer obsession rather than having a competitor focus. Today we presented Amazon Web Services, AWS. To conclude, I would like to summarize some of the key points we discussed today, starting with BCG Matrix. AWS is a star product with a large market share in cloud computing. SWOT. Strength, largest online retailer. Weakness, patent infringement issues. Opportunities, international expansion of the Amazon.com brand. Threats, increased regulations with increased growth. Market segment, AWS is in the growth phase, and the consumer adoption cycle includes early adopters and the early majority. Competitive landscape, the AWS key competitors are Microsoft Azure, IBM Cloud, and Google Cloud, with Microsoft Azure being their biggest competitor. Product brand positioning. Amazon dominates the cloud wars, with new tough competition coming in from IBM's cloud services. Pricing strategy. AWS and Azure have a similar strategy. However, AWS is more focused on everyday low prices, whereas Azure primarily uses a flexible pricing strategy. Channel strategy. AWS offers scalable software products and hardware solutions, which are hosted by Amazon servers. These products and services are directed towards a larger consumer, such as government organizations. IMC mix. AWS markets themselves with pull tactics, using a consistent message, a consistent design, and cohesive marketing elements. Thank you.